Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here, doing another one of the in the car reviews. I'm holding the camera this time. The other times I did the steering wheel, putting it behind the steering wheel. But and everyone was always talking about how big my hands were and everything in that angle. But now this movie, I've seen a lot of the reviews. I haven't watched them. I didn't want to watch any reviews going into this, but I've seen a lot of them say like spoilers or spoiler free. The thing with this movie though is like the trailers didn't really show too much, so kind of anything is considered a spoiler with this kind of a movie. But I'm going to try not to like mention anything. But I figure most of the people who are going to see this are going to want to see it anyway. But like I said, I'm not going to mention anything that could be considered a spoiler. I'll try and, give like the basic plot. A lot of people are calling this, and I'm not going to say if it is or isn't the, prequel to Alien, because it's Ridley Scott, and, from the trailer you see kind of similar images and things like that. Now I'm going to say, too, before I go into this, if you're wanting to see a movie like Alien and the Alien films that's very, creepy and, suspenseful and things like that, this movie was not like that. I didn't get that vibe. To me, this is way more sci-fi. There was some horror elements to this, but way more science fiction. Even with the music, it kind of was like something out of Star Trek. Like there were some like horror themes and kind of like typical, the kind of cool cool themes. Some of them were then just sort of the lights went out. Sorry, where I was at the movie theater, the parking lot, they turned off all the lights, and that got a little bit creepy. I don't think I've ever seen it get that dark. It was like totally pitch dark to the point where it was a little bit difficult to drive out of there. But like they turned it off on me. I guess they're like, well, movie theater's closed, get the fuck out. But they're like, get out of here. But like I was saying, the movie had like with the themes, like the music themes, it had some of those kind of like sort of stereotypical, science fiction themes. When some of the themes were really cool, what I mean? And then some of them that they used a couple times was just like, okay, like Alien used really cool music, and Alien had these real creepy, and when you think of like classic science fiction movies and sci-fi horror and things like that, you think of the Alien movies and those kind of things. This, although like was amazingly visual and had amazing, someone who's not a gigantic fan of CGI, the CGI and the visuals and things like that were very good. The 3D, I think the 3D was pretty much just depth and, sort of things like that, but it wasn't like a movie that you must see in 3D. I thought, it added to it and gave it the depth, but that was the main thing. It wasn't like things flying out at you, like some of those things. But the basic idea, though, is it starts with, in the opening of the movie, there's something that ends up drinking this thing. Something happens to him, ends up falling into the ocean, into the river. And then it's, I think it's 2069, something like that. And this exploration crew is like finding in all these different caves and all these different places these symbols of this very tall creature with these, I think it's like spears, and they've discovered these in many different places. And this isn't ruining anything. This is in the opening of the movie. Then it's I think like 4 or 5 years later from then, they're on the Prometheus, the ship, and they're right there, and they basically have discovered where the planet is, where the solar system is, with the planet, I think like 5 or 6 planets together. They discover they have a sun and a planet that could sustain life. So they end up going to this planet, and and then it becomes similar to the Alien films, them trying to explore, and, things are going wrong, and things are happening. But, there are some really cool elements to this, that I did really like, and some very cool different themes, and things are a little different. There is a character in there, too. And I don't really, it's like kind of weird, like the trailers, some of these damn trailers that come out now don't show anything, so like everything's a spoiler, so it's like kind of hard to say anything about anything. But you find out so early on there's a character similar, that's a robot, similar to the Bishop character. And like I said, I'm not going to say if this is or isn't a prequel to the Alien films. But all in all, though, I do think it's worth seeing. I did like it. I just didn't think it was absolutely amazing, and it doesn't like top Alien or Aliens in any way. Those movies are still far more fun. That's what because like even though the second Alien was kind of the more fun one, and just more fun to watch. This one was a little bit slow in certain parts, but like I'm not saying it's not in any way something that I would say is horrible or really bad. I did like it. It's just, if you're going in there looking for a movie like Alien, it's totally not that kind of thing. It's not creepy. It's more interesting. You're kind of wondering about things like that. Guy Pearce definitely plays a different kind of character for him, and you may not even notice where he is in the movie, but he is in the movie. I don't know, though. I definitely would say this is worth watching. Like I said, you can't really go into much more detail after that, because then you're going to start to spoil things. But I definitely do think people should see it. I don't think seeing it in 3D is a must. I think the 3D, though, really gives it a very cool depth and things like that, but it's not like the most amazing 3D. Like, some of the best 3D was Hugo. It's not that kind of 3D where there's lots of textures. There's a little bit of that, but there was not as much of that as you'd think. And like I said, too, with the music, because, the Alien movies always had the really cool music, there was some cool new type themes, and then some sort of real sort of almost like stock sci-fi kind of stuff that you've heard many times before. But I definitely would think this was worth seeing. Out of probably 10 stars, I'd probably say maybe 6.5, something like that. Anyway, though, thanks a lot for watching and for subscribing, and I'll see you guys later, and definitely let me know what you guys thought of the movie. Okay, bye.